What does it mean to truly be alone? To watch everyone you care about disappear while you are left behind, a prisoner of time and your own memories. This is the story of Brook, the musician of the Straw Hat Pirates, a man of laughter, music, and endless charisma. But behind his cheerful demeanor lies one of the most heartbreaking backstories in One Piece. Before he was the Soul King, before he was even a skeleton, Brook was the lively musician of the Rumbar Pirates. Unlike many pirate crews, the Rumblers weren't feared for their strength or their ambition to reclaim the Grand Line. No, their goal was something simpler, bringing joy through music. They sailed from island to island, playing their songs, lifting spirits, and making people smile. And if you think about it, that already makes Brook unique. His dream was never about power, treasure, or dominance. It was about music and the happiness it could bring. Then came their fateful encounter with a young whale named Laboon. In an act of kindness, they befriended the abandoned creature, and in a heartwarming display of loyalty, Laboon chose to follow them across the seas. But as they ventured deeper into the Grand Line, the crew realized the danger ahead would be too much for Laboon. They made a painful decision to leave him behind at Reverse Mountain, promising they would return. And Brook, he was one of the voices reassuring Laboon that they would meet again. He had no idea that it was a promise doomed to be broken. Then came the tragedy. The Grand Line, ruthless as ever, threw them into a battle they could not win. One by one, his crewmates fell, not to ambition, not to betrayal, but to the cruel hand of fate. Brook should have died with them, but the power of the Yomi Yomi no Mi brought him back, a second chance at life. Or so it seemed. When his soul finally returned to his body had already rotted away. Alone in a sea of bones, Brook woke up to a world where his friends were gone, and he was nothing but a skeleton cursed to wander alone for eternity. Can you imagine what that must have been like? To wake up expecting to see your friends, only to find their lifeless bodies surrounding you. The very people who laughed with you, fought beside you, and shared your dreams, now nothing but skeletons forever frozen in the last moments of their lives. The ones you promised to protect, the ones you swore to return with. Now imagine the loneliness stretching on, not for days, not for months, but for 50 years. No voices to comfort you, no laughter to lift your spirits, just silence. The kind of silence that crushes the soul, the kind that forces you to relive your worst memories over and over again. Every note of music a painful echo of what once was. Every song a haunting reminder of the voices that would never sing alongside you again. Could you bear it? Could you survive it? And yet Brook endured. He clung to the one thing that kept him going, his promise to Laboon. Even with his mind fractured by unbearable loneliness, he held on to the belief that one day, somehow, he would fulfill that promise. He would keep his word, but even the strongest will can only hold on for so long. Brook was reaching his breaking point, that is, until fate intervened. Now, let's step back for a moment. Think about the people in your life, the ones who make your day brighter, your family, your closest friends, the people you turn to when you need support, laughter, or even just a simple conversation. Picture them, every hug, every joke, every shared memory that makes life feel full. Now imagine waking up one day and realizing they are all gone. Not just lost in the sense that they've moved away or drifted apart. No, truly gone. Every single one of them. No texts, no calls, no familiar voices, just an unshakable silence that stretches on, swallowing every moment of warmth you once knew. At first, maybe you'd hold on to hope, convincing yourself that this is temporary, that somehow, someway, you'll see them again. But as the days turn to weeks, the weeks into months, and the months into years, that hope would slowly begin to crumble. Because that's exactly what Brook endured. For 50 years, he lived with a level of solitude that would break most people. And yet, despite carrying the weight of unimaginable grief, despite losing everything, Brook still found a way to smile, to laugh, to keep going, not because the pain disappeared, but because he refused to let it define him. And that is what makes his story so powerful. And then, after 50 years of solitude, a ray of hope appeared. Monkey D. Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates entered his life. And for the first time in decades, Brook wasn't alone. He wasn't just a wandering soul on a doomed journey. He had a family again. He had a crew, laughter, and most importantly, people who accepted him for who he was. Brook's story is one of unimaginable pain, but also incredible resilience. He lost everything, yet he never let it destroy him. Instead, he carried on, found new purpose, and continued to play the songs of the past while creating new ones with his friends. And that's what makes Brook one of the most inspiring characters in One Piece.